Hello, friends, and welcome back. You're working hard every single day, but nothing is changing? You look around, and it feels like you are completely stuck in the exact same place. The truth is, most people give up too early. They pray for success, but they simply cannot wait for it to grow. They plant a seed today and expect a magnificent tree tomorrow. If you feel like giving up today, I want you to remember this. A river cuts through a rock, not because of its raw power, but because of its consistency. When life becomes slow, difficult, or painful, it's easy to think that nothing is working. We compare ourselves with others, we lose hope, and we quit right before our time comes. But life has a beautiful, strange rule. The people who stay patient during the hardest times are always the ones who win in the end. My name is SiRa, and this story is about a donkey who taught an entire village the true power of patience. The story of a poor donkey. Chapter 1. The Slow Donkey. In a small village, there lived a poor farmer named Athos. He was not rich, strong, or famous. He only had a tiny house, a few farming tools, and one old donkey named Barnaby. Barnaby was not fast like a horse, and he was not beautiful. His body was weak, his fur looked dusty, and people laughed whenever they saw him walking slowly down the village roads. The villagers often mocked Athos. "Why do you still keep this useless donkey? He is too old and works too slowly. You should sell him." But Athos always smiled and replied, "Slow does not mean useless." Every morning before sunrise, Athos loaded small sacks of vegetables on Barnaby's back and walked to the market miles away. The journey was hard. The roads were rocky, the weather was hot, and people with fast horses always reached the market first. Athos earned very little money. Sometimes he returned home with unsold vegetables, and there was barely enough food for dinner. One evening, after another terrible day at the market, Athos sat quietly outside his house. His eyes were full of sadness. "I work hard every day," he whispered, "but nothing changes." As he spoke, Barnaby slowly walked over and gently rested his head on Athos's shoulder. Athos smiled sadly. "At least you understand me." Chapter 2. A Different Path. The next morning, Athos decided to try something new. Instead of rushing to the market on the main road like everyone else, he chose a longer mountain path. The villagers thought he was crazy because the mountain road was difficult and dangerous. "Your donkey is already slow," they laughed. "And now you choose an even longer road." But Athos ignored them. As they walked through the mountains, Athos noticed something special. Along the road, wild fruit trees grew everywhere. Travelers passing through the mountains were always thirsty and hungry, but nobody sold anything there because everyone else took the faster main road. Athos stopped and thought carefully. The next day, he carried water and fruits along with his vegetables. While crossing the mountain road, tired travelers happily bought food from him. For the first time in months, Athos returned home with extra money. Weeks passed. Slowly, more travelers began waiting for Athos on the mountain road. They trusted him because he was kind, patient, and always arrived at the exact same time every day. Meanwhile, the farmers on the main road faced heavy competition. Prices dropped, fights became common, and many went home angry. But Athos kept following the slow mountain path with Barnaby, day after day, month after month. Chapter 3. The Great Reward. One afternoon, a rich merchant traveling through the mountains saw Athos helping an injured traveler for free. The merchant watched quietly as Barnaby stood patiently beside them, carrying heavy supplies without making a sound. The merchant was impressed. "You are different from the others," he told Athos. Athos smiled. "Life taught me patience." The merchant then made an offer. "I need someone honest to transport goods through these mountains every week. Most people refuse because the road is tough. Will you do it?" Athos immediately agreed. That small opportunity changed his life completely. Over the next few years, Athos slowly earned enough money to buy more land, repair his house, and live peacefully. But he never forgot Barnaby. Even though people respected him now, Athos still walked beside his donkey every single morning. One day, a young boy asked him, "How did you become successful?" Athos looked at Barnaby and smiled. "Because of him." The boy looked confused. "But he is just a donkey." Athos replied, "No, he is the reason I learned patience." Everyone wanted quick success and laughed at slow progress. But this donkey taught me something powerful. Slow steps still move forward. Patience still reaches the destination. Chapter 4. The Test of Time. Years later, a terrible storm hit the village. Heavy rain destroyed the main road completely. Trade stopped, and the farmers who depended on the fast road lost everything overnight. But the mountain path Athos had used for years remained safe because it was built on stronger ground. Now, the entire village depended on Athos's route for food and supplies. The same villagers who once laughed at Barnaby now stood silently, watching him walk through the mountains, carrying supplies for everyone. One old villager lowered his head and said, "We judged him because he was slow." Athos replied calmly, "The world often laughs at patience because it cannot see the future." The lasting lesson. That night, Athos sat beside Barnaby under the stars. Barnaby was very old now, and his steps were weaker than before. Athos gently touched his head. "You carried more than vegetables," Athos whispered. "You carried my dreams when nobody believed in me." A few days later, Barnaby died peacefully near the mountain road they loved. Athos buried him under a large tree overlooking the valley. The villagers came to visit because everyone now knew the story of the patient donkey. Near the grave, Athos placed a small wooden sign. It said, "Fast people may arrive early, but patient people arrive stronger." What you learn from this story. Patience does not mean doing nothing. Patience means continuing to move forward even when you cannot see the results yet. Many people destroy their future because they cannot survive temporary discomfort. They panic when life becomes slow. But success is not always about talent or speed. Sometimes success belongs to the person who simply refuses to stop. A tree takes years before it gives fruit. A river cuts through rock not because of its power, but because of its consistency. Just like Barnaby the donkey, sometimes the slowest journey creates the strongest life. If life feels slow right now, do not lose hope. Your patience is building something bigger than you can see. Motivation life lesson from this story. Here are the core motivational life lessons we could take away from Athos and Barnaby's journey. 1. Slow progress is still progress. We live in a world obsessed with speed and instant results. We plant a seed today and expect a tree tomorrow. But as Barnaby showed us, slow steps still move forward. The lesson: do not despise small beginnings or slow progress. As long as you're moving toward your goal, you're outlasting everyone who chose to sit still or quit. 2. The fastest path is often the most crowded. Everyone rushed to the main road because it was quick, which led to heavy competition, lower prices, and constant fighting. Athos took the difficult, slow mountain path and found an untapped market filled with wild fruit trees and thirsty travelers. The lesson: when you choose the path of patience and hard work, you face less competition. While others are fighting for quick wins on the crowded main road, your patience allows you to build unique opportunities on stronger ground. 3. Consistency builds a stronger foundation. When the terrible storm hit the village, the fast main road collapsed. However, the slow mountain road survived because it was built on rock. The lesson: shortcuts often leave you vulnerable when a crisis hits. When you build your skills, career, or character slowly and honestly, you build a foundation that can survive any storm. Quick success can disappear overnight, but patient success lasts. 4. Never judge your current value by the world opinion. The villagers mocked the donkey because he couldn't run like a horse. They labeled him useless based entirely on his appearance and speed. Yet, in the end, that very same donkey saved the entire village from starvation. The lesson: do not let people who cannot see your future judge your present value. Your unique strengths, like resilience, reliability, and steady endurance are often exactly what the world will need when things get tough. The ultimate takeaway: a river cuts through a rock not because of its raw power, but because of its consistency. Patience is not about passively waiting around. It is about actively working and keeping your focus even when the results are currently invisible. If life feels slow right now, don't change direction out of panic. Your patience is building something bigger than you can see. Learn English from this story. This story is a fantastic tool for improving your English. Because it focuses on simple, powerful storytelling, it contains excellent vocabulary, idioms, and grammatical structures that you can use in everyday conversation. Let's break down the best language lessons from the story. 1. Key vocabulary, word by word. Here are the most useful words from the story, explained in simple terms. Mocked, verb, to laugh at someone or make fun of them in an unkind way. Example in story: the villagers often mocked Athos. Ignored, verb, to pay no attention to someone or something. Example in story: but Athos ignored them. Merchant, noun, a person whose job is to buy and sell goods, usually in large amounts. Example in story: a rich merchant traveling through the mountains noticed Athos. Transport, verb, to carry or move things from one place to another. Example in story: I need someone honest to transport goods through these mountains. Destruction, destroyed, verb, to damage something so badly that it cannot be used anymore. Example in story: heavy rain destroyed the main road completely. Consistency, noun, doing something in the same way over time to get a good result. Example in story: a river cuts through rock, not because of power, but because of consistency. 2. Grammar focus, used to versus would for past habits. The story talks a lot about things that happened repeatedly in the past. Look at this sentence. But the mountain path Athos used for years remained safe. Every morning before sunrise, Athos loaded small sacks. When telling a story about past habits or routines, you have three main options in English. Simple past tense: he walked to the market. Good for a factual action. Used to: he used to take the mountain path. Best for past states or habits that don't happen anymore. Would: every morning, he would load his donkey. Excellent for nostalgic or descriptive storytelling about routines. Final thought: Athos buried Barnaby under that large tree, but the lesson that donkey left behind lived on forever. If you're watching this right now and your life feels slow, difficult, or heavy, please do not lose hope. Your patience is not wasted time. It is foundation time. Remember, fast people may arrive early, but patient people arrive stronger. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time with me today. If this story touched your heart, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might be struggling right now. Let me know in the comments, what is one area in your life where you need more patience right now? Type patience. Keep moving forward, step by step. My name is SiRa, and I'll see you in the next story.